It looks like JT and Young Miami's relationship is still as tense as ever because JT recently said some crazy mean things about Young Miami after Miami's interview where she talked about the breakup of the City Girls. Well, JT wasn't going to let Young Miami talk about City Girls, so she read Miami to filth and exposed her for lying about the real reason for the breakup. But that wasn't all. JT had more to say and exposed Miami for being broke as hell and pretending to live a fancy life. JT isn't here to play with Young Miami, and it looks like she's ready to cut ties with her. Miami doesn't need City Girls putting their dirty clothes out for everyone to see. Since about a year ago, they've been putting down heavy shade at each other, and things have been a mess for a long time. It was thought that the fight began when Young Miami stopped supporting JT and not having his back. It was clear that Miami was too involved with Diddy and her girlfriend Kisha. Like JT, she didn't hold back when she said that Diddy might be to blame for their breakup.
What about City Girls? What does the future of City Girls look like?
Hopefully, the future of the City Girls can be the City Girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I pray that our egos does not separate it, or the internet, or guys.
At the time, we were all just trying to figure out what was going on. We thought that JT felt left out because Diddy was taking Miami to places that JT couldn't get to. Miami was living the high life by going to fancy events like the Met Gala while JT was left out. Miami said, "I don't even rap anymore, I retired you guys." They released one last record together last year, called Raw, but it didn't do very well. It only sold 10,000 copies in its first year. After that, it seemed like the City Girls were no longer together. JT distanced herself from Young Miami completely and started to do her own music while Miami focused on Diddy and her Kisha Please brand, but mostly on Diddy. But then Diddy's situation happened with him getting sued left and right, and Miami was caught up in the hot mess along with him. She has been getting dragged on social media, with many people even going as far as to claim that she knew more about the situation than we thought. She was in even more trouble than we knew because in Lil R's lawsuit, he claimed that she used to transport pink nose candy for Diddy. According to the court documents, plain if and the comes, it says in a court document that Rico Enterprise was practicing for something at the festival in Virginia. Jones personally witnessed Mr. Combs do a few lines of In His Dressing Room. Defendant seen Combs wanted to see, but Brendan forgot it, so defendant Christina Coram called Young Miami, who then brought it on a private jet from Miami. He also exposed her of being a sorer, saying Young Miami Jade and Dat Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' test workers and received payment via wire transfer from Robin Greenhill, which outlined defendant's ongoing criminal operation. Fans expected JT to reach out to Miami and offer her support in public, but that never happened, and that's when we knew that the girls were beefing, and they were beefing hard. It eventually spilled over on social media when they dragged each other for filth on Twitter. It started when Miami accused JT of sneak dissing her, saying, "AB been sneak dissing me for weeks, and I ain't say nothing. Wanna be mad at me for JT was not having this," and she clapped back saying, "Oh Miss Mama, this your last day playing dumb. It'll be too much for me to tweet. I would like a sit down Kisha, please, and this time leave Santana home." She also said, "I know I come off crazy, but never in my life did no whack is to this girl. She literally enjoys seeing me being dragged. When people show me love, she goes crazy and call it a hate train. But like I said, we can sit down and talk about it." Miami also accused JT of being a bad friend, saying that trying to kick me while I'm down and play into these narratives is dangerous when I've been nothing but a friend to you. But JC checked this real quick when she replied that you were looking for a way out of your position. Who was the first person called when it all started? You're a sad case. Miami said, "You're weird but always want to act like I'm a weirdo. You're always mad. It's always a problem, and all I try to do is push. I tell you, you can rap, you should model, etc. You're always mad. You're doing your thing as you should, but somehow you're still mad." She continued, "You let the internet put in your head that I'm jealous of you when you know I'm the one that always pushes us. You have anger towards me. That's okay." She then accused JT of throwing shade at her in her song, saying, "For you to come on here and try to play victim, internet put in your head that I'm jealous of you when you know I'm the one that always pushes us. You have anger towards me. That's okay." She then accused JT of throwing shade at her in her song, saying, "For you to come on here and try to play victim is crazy." Jatavia, you've been sneak dissing me for the last couple of days. I haven't said is back to you. You made 2 whole songs dissing me, and I still rapped your songs with my chest and showed love. So what's the real problem here? JT then said, which songs were about you? And Miami replied, no bars and sideways. But JT denied this, and she said, oh wow, you're really losing it if you thought this. Why not speak to me about it? You came on here and said lol so people can ask you why you weren't defending me. Attention seeking as usual. JT then hinted that Miami had done shady stuff to her behind closed doors, and she tweeted, if I'm ever mad, I had a reason to be behind closed doors. You have done stuff to me that you think I should just get over. You never come to my defense when I would have literally took a bullet for you. When CP popped off, I was their first episode, and when someone canceled, I showed up in a red wig. Keep calling me mad like the internet do, but you know me, my heart pumped gold. I wish you the best always, and I love how fast you got on here behind Santana. They later came out to reveal that they had talked it out and were cool with each other, but child, you don't fight like that in public without there being a lot of animosity behind the scenes. So even though they claimed that they had made up, we knew that there was still a lot of resentment behind the scenes, and it would only be a matter of time before it all came spilling out again. And boy, we were right about that. A couple of days ago, Young Miami had an interview where she talked about the breakup of the City Girls, and this is what she said.
I think when the City Girls album just dropped and it didn't do too well, and we was just like trying to do our press run, you know, the whole rollout of the album was just so bad because we was just in 2 different spaces. You know, like we older now, and it was just like she was doing her own thing. She on the West Coast, I'm in Miami, I'm doing my own thing, and I felt like naturally when she doing her own thing, it just worked for her. And when I'm doing my own thing, it worked for me. But when we get together as a group, it just wasn't connecting. Like it just wasn't working no more. So I think we both was at a point where we was just like, we probably should just do our own
Right.
But that was the point for me.
She made it seem like they naturally moved apart, but according to JT, that was not the case here because the reason for the breakup was Miami Shady's association with Diddy. It got to a point where she no longer wanted to do music but focused on Diddy, and get this. JT is also saying that Miami is flat broke and has been living a fake life since the Diddy thing happened. For one, Diddy stopped paying her sugar baby income. According to a source, Diddy is no longer paying Young Miami's costs. A friend told us that Diddy had been paying for private flights, shopping sprees, and rent for a fancy Miami penthouse. Diddy still bought Young Miami a Christmas gift, but he's not as generous as he once was, the source added. Diddy is not in a good place mentally either. He can really use someone like Kisha in his life. She really does care about him. Not just his money, but the money is important, yes, so he has to start paying again if he wants her company. Yeah, we guessed that she was broke when she started making music again and dropped 2 tracks in less than a month. Baby girl needs the money, and she needs an ASAP because she got used to having a fancy life with Diddy and can no longer afford it on her own. Fans hopped on this story to drop their 2 cents, and they left comments saying Carisha is in the middle of a lawsuit being accused of being a drug trafficking head and a sorker who is recruiting other women or girls for Diddy. How is JT going to defend those allegations? Let's be real, it wasn't connecting because once Young Miami bagged the millionaire, she didn't care about making music anymore. All she ever cared about was getting that bag. JT was the only one who was super serious about making music, and that's why she's out here touring her butt off, and Kisha back with her old baby daddy. That's tough, but sometimes you got to follow your own way. I'm pulling for the both of them to do their best, and whatever they do next, this situation is one hot mess. But do y'all think that JT is right to feel cheated, or do you think that she's doing too much? Drop your ideas in the comments and then check out this next video.